tent cities of outrage popping up all across the U.S. over the last months. Less visible to the public eye and much quieter, this tent city of hopelessness, around for half a decade. This is our third time at the village tucked away in the woods in about 2 years. The number of homeless turning to the camp for hospitality keeps growing. These days, the population of Tent City has tripled compared to when it was first set up. The place is home to about 70 homeless people who have nowhere else to go. A third are women. They are ashamed to leave their tents in the presence of a camera. The mood here has become increasingly politicized over the last year.
The politicians and the government has not protected the American people. They've allowed outsourcing to run rampant, and it's benefiting companies. Corporations are making more money than they've ever made before. The average American worker and citizen is suffering at the expense of the agenda of the politicians.
46-year-old Angelo Villanueva, with a love for Kung Fu, lost everything in the recession and has never found a full-time job again.
It seems to be a growing trend, unfortunately, and the politicians better take note and try to stop their bickering and do something to stop this, or to slow it down, or to make it better.
A bricklayer for 2 decades, Angelo calls himself a victim of the economy and this place home. As does Charles, homeless for the last 2 years. He used to play the harmonica, but this is no longer.
There might be a certain degree of depression that might set in. Just the whole situation, especially now where it's getting cooler out and the days are shorter.
As if the sorrow of these people wasn't enough, officials have been trying to evict the homeless out of the camp.
They try to force out the poor. I call it discrimination by design, for the sake of pushing the poor out and encouraging the wealthy or the people with money to move into your town.
Wealth inequality has been at the root of the anger for Occupy Wall Street protesters. But some of these homeless seem far from the demonstrators.
I support them, but I think our situation is a lot different. We're homeless. We have nowhere to sleep. I'm sure they have places to go when they're done their little rally.
We've got our own Occupy movement right here in Lakewood, and it's more of an Occupy movement out of necessity.
Those who volunteer to help at the camp are not wealthy. Like Donald, who is an artist on disability. He was also broke once. The neglect of the homeless is no surprise to him.
Quite frankly, they don't want to know that these people are here because they're ugly, they're faceless, they're nameless.
Many of the residents of Tent City used to blame themselves for their misfortune, but with 3.5 million Americans experiencing homelessness every year, or over 700,000 people on any given night, their message for politicians has changed.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes, all this help that we give out all over the world, we need help here.
As night settles, help is far from here. All they have left are their roosters that live in their trees to keep them company. But each homeless resident faces a hard truth by himself. Anastasia Churkina, RT, Lakewood, New Jersey.